Hi, I'm KJ. I'm an interior designer based out of Mumbai, and I'm back with another living room design video where I pick some of my favorite ready-made furniture pieces from across various well-known brands which I've personally used in a couple of projects in the past. Besides getting ideas as how you can put together a space, you'll also know where you can buy some of these products from, which may work very well as an individual piece in your space. So for this video, I've taken inspiration from some of the quaint spaces that I've been lately seeing on Instagram and Pinterest, especially the ones which are a perfect mix of, the traditional and the modern. So I really wanted to attempt something with a little bit of old and new without making it look too dated. Now the living room is from a 3 BHK apartment in Mumbai. And this is very typical for a Mumbai living room floor plan, where you see a passage as soon as you enter, and in the passage there's this door on your right which takes you to the kitchen. Once you've crossed the passage, you enter the living area, and in here the space itself tells you that this is supposed to be a seating zone where you can lounge or sit and watch TV, and this zone is the dining zone. Now the presence of these default zones make it kind of simple to define a furniture layout, and so it was very easy to derive a floor plan for this particular space. So let's get started with picking some furniture pieces for the space. So for the sofa, I'm going for this one from Gulmohar Lane in this particular fabric. For the center table, I'm going for this one which I absolutely love from Made with Spin. I've been eyeing this one for quite some time now, and I finally get to use this in this episode as it's quite a modern looking piece because of its sleek details, and at the same time the wood and the rattan introduces the much needed warmth in the space. Also, I love this armchair from Freedom Tree, especially these curved arms. It reminds me of an old school colonial armchair. That being said, I think it can still blend in with the other modern pieces quite well because the details are not very chunky. They have an option to select a fabric of your choice, and I love this velvet floral fabric. You would need 2 meters of fabric for this chair, and by default the length of the fabric is 1 meter, so remember to increase the quantity to 2 while checking out. For the side table, I'm going to go for this one from West Elm, which is very similar to an elegant pedestal, and it's got these vertical crevices between these adjacent posts around the entire circumference, which may collect dust, and you may have to take care of that dust from time to time. So if you're someone who does not like furniture pieces that require a bit of maintenance, basically things which are easy to clean or wipe, then think twice before buying something like this. But if you're okay to make an effort and clean the dust from time to time for the sake of aesthetics, then this is an interesting piece of furniture to buy. For the TV unit, I like the sleek black unit from IKEA, and you can see that there's a bit of space on the right of the TV unit, so I thought it can be used for a nice bar unit. And I'm going for this one from Fabindia, and I like the juxtaposition of a black sleek TV unit against this very elegant looking wooden bar cabinet. There is a sideboard of a similar series available on Fabindia which matches the bar cabinet, and I thought it would be a good idea to use it here because there won't be much of a difference in the tones of wood used in the space. For the dining table, I'm going for an all black table with very modern details from Made with Spin, and for the dining chairs, I'm going for this teak wood chair with a woven jute on the seat. Now if you notice, there's a bit of an empty space between the sideboard and the pedestal, and I thought it would be good to fill that awkward emptiness with a chair, which can be pulled out when needed to be used as an extra chair in the seating space or the dining area. And I've selected this one from Freedom Tree as it will tie back to the armchairs to some degree, especially some of the curved details here. And I've intentionally selected something different from the dining chairs because the jute chairs are nicely grouped in one corner, and if I would have one more jute chair next to the sideboard, it would feel like these chairs have been distributed all over the place just because you have more of those. So I'm sorry I'm digressing a bit, but I have to tell you this if you're in the process of designing your house or plan to do so in the near future, is that you need to spend some quality time in the planning phase as much as possible so that you get a good plan. Once your floor plan is set, it ensures a faster turnaround time of the execution phase, and believe it or not, you're going to save a lot of time during execution if you have a solid plan in the beginning. And the same applies to the process of shortlisting furniture pieces as well. And I keep saying that you need to have a solid plan because it will give you a direction of finding pieces, and in the process you may stumble upon something unexpected that you absolutely love, and you may somehow want to incorporate it in the plan. And when you have an already decided plan, it's very easy to make some changes here and there and to check if the circulation is right and the functional needs are met, and that's okay. Whereas on the other end, if you did not have a plan, you may end up buying a furniture piece which may turn out to be a bad investment because it may not be a good fit for your space size wise or looks wise, and you may regret later. Please do not ignore the design of the entrance passage. I think you should spend the same amount of effort in decorating the entrance passage as much as you would put for the rest of the space, because it's the first thing you see when you enter, and it should feel equally warm and inviting and set the tone for the rest of the space. Now, to make the entrance passage interesting, I thought I'll put in a series of small pendant lights in the passage. And while doing so, I was a little confused whether I should put it in the center of the passage or align it to the center of the door. And in the end, I decided to put them in the center of the passage width. But the fact that it would be off-centered to the main door was bothering me a little, so I decided it would be a good idea to panel the wall space around the main door in the same wood finish as the door, so that way you'll not notice the main door being off-centered. After doing this, I thought why waste the corner, and thought I could build in a cabinet for shoes in the same wood finish. And if needed, you could also do a mirror, which is always nice for you to see yourself before you step out. I also placed a bench from Elementary against this wall, which can be used to sit on and wear your shoes. You could put in your regular wear shoes under this bench and store the occasional ones in the cabinet next to the door. A rug like this can really bring in a lot of character to the entrance passage. So if you've seen some of my older videos, you'll know how I never skip the part of adding decorative lighting, because I personally think they are like pieces of art in itself and are super functional at the same time. So next to the sofa, I've gone for this floor lamp from Hatsu. I love it, and I also love how it ties to the black and gold elements within the space. Near the dining table, I'm going for this terracotta wall sconce from length, breadth and height. And notice how I've distributed different types of lamps in the space to create a visual interest. Pendant lamps in one corner, wall sconce in the other, table lamp on the sideboard, and a floor lamp in one corner. Now, how cheap or expensive certain furniture pieces are depends on what your budget really is, and that is very subjective and different for different people. So it's very difficult for me to point at something and label it as cheap or expensive. But if you were to ask me to specify what is the range cost-wise of the furniture pieces I've picked this time, then I would say that they belong to the mid-range price category of furniture pieces, and which means that they're not very cheap but not very exorbitantly priced either. And if you're looking for low budget furniture pieces, then I've made a couple of videos in the past, and I'm going to link some of those videos in the description below. brings us to the end of this video, and I hope you got some ideas for your living room design project, and I hope you've managed to discover a product or two which could be the missing element to help you wrap the living room design of your home.